Hey guys, I hope you have been enjoying all your snow days. Today I'm just going to go over 8.6 briefly again. I'm just going to add a couple different types of problems, and then for homework you're going to have a review of 8.6 and then some older material as well. So before we get started, remember our vector equation is going to be in the form of x minus x1 y minus y1 equals my t times my direction vector. So for this first type of problem, it's going to ask you what is the coordinates for point P that's being described below. So my first example, if I look here, it says it's starting at 1, 4 and going to 5, negative 4. So that's going to tell me right away 1, 4 is going to be my x1, y1. Right. It's telling me it's going to 5, negative 4. So I can go ahead and find my direction vector by subtracting those coordinates. Remember, you're going to start with the second, so 5 minus 1, and then negative 4 minus 4. So we're going to get my direction vector to be 4, negative 8. Now, then it says it's going 1/4 of the way. So 1/4 is going to be my parameter t. So if I go ahead and write my equation, it would be x minus my x1 is 1, y minus my y1 is 4, equals t, which my parameter is 1/4, and then 4, negative 8 is my direction vector. So if I go ahead and distribute my parameter, I'm going to get 2, negative 2. Oh, sorry, not 2, negative 2, but 1, negative 2. Now remember, there's a couple different ways you could go about this. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and set my x coordinates equal to one another and my y coordinates set equal to one another. So if I set my x coordinates equal to one another, I'm going to get x minus 1 equals 1. So I'm going to get x equals 2. If I set my y coordinates equal together, I'm going to get y minus 4 equals negative 2. So I'm going to get y equals positive 2 as well. So therefore my point P, the coordinates would simply be 2, 2. Alright, let's take a look at another problem that's very similar. So again, it gives me a starting value of 7, negative 2, and it's going to 2, 8. So again, if I take a look here, that's going to be my x1, y1. To find my direction vector, again, I'm going to subtract. I'm going to start with point B though, so it's going to be 2 minus 7, and then 8 minus negative 2. So my direction vector is going to be negative 5. Double negative will turn to a positive, positive 10. Now it's saying it's 4/5 of the way, so my parameter t is going to be 4/5. So if I go ahead and write my equation, I'm going to say x minus x1, remember, is 7. Y minus y1, that double negative will turn to a plus 2, equals my parameter t, which is 4/5 times negative 5, 10. So again, I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 4/5 in. So if I distribute the 4/5 in, I'm going to get negative 4. And then if I distribute the 4/5 in, I'm going to get positive 8. So again, I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to take my x coordinates, set them equal to one another. So I'm going to get x equals positive 3. Then I'm going to set my y coordinates equal to one another. So I'm going to get y equals 6. So therefore my point P, the coordinates would simply be 3, would be 3, 6. Now let's take a look at one more example here. It says, suppose an object which is moving with a constant velocity is at A, 5, 3. So right away I know this right here is my x1, y1 when t equals 0. And at B, negative 4, 15 when t equals 3 seconds. So first part A is asking us to find the speed of the object. Alright, so part A. So at t equals 0, my coordinate is 5, 3. At t equals 3, my coordinate is negative 4, 15. So if I want to go ahead and find the velocity, I'm going to start with my second coordinate, so negative 4 minus 5, 15 minus 3. So that's going to give me, and how long, sorry, before I do that, how long did it take to get to negative 4, 3? Well, it took 3 seconds, so I'm going to take 1/3 of that to get my constant velocity. So 1/3, negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9, 15 minus 3 is going to be 12. So if I take 1/3 of it, it's saying my constant velocity will be negative 3. Sorry, negative 3, 4. So that's going to be my velocity. Now the speed is just going to be the magnitude of that vector. So remember, the magnitude equals your x squared plus your y squared. So if I take that, the speed is, I'm going to take negative 3 squared plus 4 squared. So that's going to be 9 plus 16. That's going to give me the square root of 25. So we're going to get my speed to be 5. Now part B is just simply asking for our vector equation. So remember, our vector equation is going to look like this. Alright, so if I go ahead and fill that information in, what was my x1? I go back up here, was 5. Oh, sorry. Comma, y minus my y1 was 3 equals t. And then my velocity I found to be negative 3, 4. So here's my vector equation that describes the motion of the object. Again, like I said at the beginning, you're going to have a worksheet that not only reviews 8.6, but it also is going to review sections 8.4 and 8.5. If you have any questions, please reach out to me either through email or my Father Ryan message. And like always, we will go over that worksheet as a class, hopefully next week. Hope you enjoy your weekend.